everybody and welcome to this playthrough for Expert Division in the East Coast Tournament. The video here is sponsored by Golf Clash and Playdemic. And before we start, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Also visit golfclashtommy.com for more Golf Clash content. You can also get the updated text guide by subscribing to patreon.com/golfclashtommy. This is going to be a tough tournament. I'm giving you some double options with some aggressive routes, especially when it comes to hole number 1 and hole number 6. And then obviously we're gonna tweak and we're going to do our best to, tweak that during the week. Obviously there will be some breakdowns during the week, as well as there is some interesting approaches that I want to take a much closer look at. So hole number 1, we start off here by playing this one just normal. Extra mile level 8, we're just gonna go straight forward. I'm gonna lay up for a short iron or a long iron towards the pin. So we play with 6 topspin, as much side spin to the right, and a half a ball of curl to the right with a tiny bit of overpower. And we just want to get it down there. I'm not really focusing on getting it, as close to the green as possible. I just want to be in a consistent position where I either have a short iron maximum distance or a long iron minimum distance to the pin. And now you can see I'm playing with the Saturn. So I picked the Saturn instead of having the Goliath in my bag, so I can go with the backspin shot here on this green. The green's slightly uphill, so even though we have a tailwind, we need to make sure that we aim like past the pin slightly. And now you can see here, the problem I have now though is that I'm going in between clubs. So I'm finding myself in a crappy position. So make sure that we might not go with that much topspin. Just play a normal drive, and then we're going to find ourselves with a consistency, so we're not gonna do what I'm doing now. You see, we bounce nicely. I like the line. It's just that I wanted that one to come in a little bit to the left of the pin. Even if you hit the pin, it's not gonna be a problem. 10% for the drive, nothing for second shot. And now, for those of you with superior clubs, you can try to actually go, if not for green, but very close to green. And obviously this is going to end up with, in many of the cases, a shot from the rough or from the sand. Now I'm just going in there, thought of having some fun, picking a snow globe, playing with Apocalypse level 7, but I'm only using 6 bar topspin to be more alike an Apocalypse level 5 plus. And because it has the same topspin, it does have the same distance for Apoc 5, and I'm using only 6 bars topspin on Apoc 7. I'm going with a full power slice here, bouncing nicely, but you can see here definitely that I do need to counteract with spin on the other direction, and might just need to move my target a little bit more out to the left, so I'm not coming in with that big angle. But in the end, I get to the rough. And from the rough here, it's a medium distance, or like a slightly less medium distance rough iron. So in the end, if you want to take more like a, okay, let's screw it, let's just go for it, then try to get the power slice dialed in here. You can try to get very close to the green, or you might can find a way to actually stay very close to the green. So you might have a wedge or a short iron for a very short distance. Hole number 2, 2 backspin, as much side spin to the right possible. And you can see here, I'm using half of the blue ring inside the rough to the right in complete minimum distance. That's why Kingmaker here is very valuable, and with a sniper, so you can find the line, like the bottom line, where it turns over from a quarterback to the sniper. And I'm going to not push up anything while falling into the bunker. It's already accounted for. Minimum distance plus 10. We bounce very nicely. This one comes in. This one's gonna be close. Can we get it in? So close. Very, very close. We just need to move ourselves a little bit more to the right. But it could also be the strength of the wind that messed up for us, that we missed slightly to the left. We're gonna get back to that one, obviously, going forward. Hole number 3. We do a 10% downhill, playing with the quarterback. 5 topspin, as much side spin to the left possible. And then we're going to aim for the ball to get down there. I kind of want this ball to be fairly close to the rough line, as we do not have any tailwind for the second shot, or at least not much. Once I have adjusted my drive, I push up 1 ring. With the quarterback, will that be said. If you play with a different driver, you don't have to do that. Shot number 2, now I have the luxury of having the Cataclysm level 7, but obviously if you have a lower level of Cataclysm or with a big dog, you use that one. Give yourself top spin as much as you can, apply the amount of side spin to the left that is possible to use together, and then you adjust with no elevation, trying to just get your ball down here to the right and leave yourself up for either approach where you use the back end of the green or that you go for a dunk. And in this case here now, I'm trying to find a funnel here on the green. And this is not an easy one to find, so I'm keeping myself going a little bit back and forth. But in the end, you know, it all depends on how you want to play this shot. Either you play it like I'm trying to do here now, and I'm playing with the short iron like this, trying to figure out a way. And the reason I want to have this replay here is to give you just an idea on it is not really consistent. So it might be better that we just bounce towards the pin instead. Because in the end, looking at that ball guideline, that did not make me feel comfortable. And this is going to be a crap shot, but this is really what I'm talking about. Hole 3 going to be super tough to get consistently an eagle. I also think that the dunk might be a good option here to just have in your repertoire if you need to use it. Hole number 4, 10% extra. Now we come to a course where an eagle is almost a must in my opinion, especially if you're gonna separate yourself from the others. 10% extra, and we're going to go with a decent amount of top spin, which is going to be 5 bars and as much side spin to the left possible. Plan is to get ourselves over here so we do have a straight approach with the wind here. You can see the headwind, we can play in the wind, which makes this a super good opportunity here. When I adjust this one, I use a little side spin to align the ball guideline with the pin if I do need so. Now, in my adjustment here, I base this one as maximum distance, which in the end is wrong, and I needed to go a little bit less to get this one in the hole. The good part here is there is no elevation to adjust for. We just need to make sure that we adjust it, you know, according to the distance of our club. So this is not entirely max distance, might be 90% of the club, and in that case, you know, even with a perfect, when we do over adjust, we are gonna miss left. So in the end, this is going to be a kind of a must in my opinion. I do think that it's needed to be said. Hole number 5 then, 10% extra, and I'm playing this one with a Goliath. With a straight tailwind, we're going to bounce up towards the pin. As you can see here, I'm going to use a spin that is going to be 2.5 bar backspin and 3 bars side spin to the right. And now we're going to play this one with 3.5 bar side spin to the right. So I wanted to have that. So 2.5 back, 3.5 bar side. You can see the white ring falling down into the sand, half of the blue ring inside the rough, medium distance plus 10. So not max, medium distance plus 10, no curl, and this in the end is gonna bounce, and it's gonna bounce, and then it's gonna roll, and it comes in for a nice hole-in-one for us. And we take that obviously all day and every day. Hole 6, now you're gonna see my opponent shots first, and it's not often I use my opponent shots, but look, this is a power slice used with Apocalypse level 5, and he's taking this one very conservative in my opinion, tiny bit of overpower, power 2 ball, and then in the end go with a full power slice, or like a full slice. He's using almost full top spin, as much side spin to the right, unfortunately rolls just into the rough. There you can see the way to go with an Apocalypse. You can reach pretty far there, and I might going to dig into this one with an Apocalypse, trying to actually go for green. But I'm playing with the quarterback, and I'm playing with 4 top, as much right spin possible, and then power slice big time, or like power slice big time, and then we get easily to the fairway. The only problem we have here though is that we're very close. You have the trees there. So the thing that I find here, there is gaps between basically every tree. You just need to find a spot, which might be different from time to time. Pick the Goliath so you do have the option to go for a rough bump, because the Goliath, even in a lower level, do have a lot of top spin. To just say about the drive, as it might go quick in this playthrough, as we don't really have the time to stop and, you know, stop there for several minutes, rewind, pause it, look for the reference spot that I'm using with the quarterback. But I can assure you, I'm going to have a breakdown video with hole 6 coming up during this week, where I'm going to show you multiply options, and we are definitely going to break the crap out of this this course here. Going for the rough bump, slightly over adjusted. I played it a little bit more than minimum distance. Should have been played minimum distance here, then we would be having a good chance. Hole number 7, another good chance, or at least in my opinion this is a good chance. We're playing with the Thor's hammer if you have it. If you do not have the Thor's hammer, you play with the quarterback, you play with the rocket to give you the backspin. The only difference there though is that you might need to, with a quarterback or the rocket, is to back up and remove remove a little backspin because of the headwind. But now using the Thor's hammer here, we give ourselves a very good chance. We bounce there, we bounce up there, and it falls down. And that's the plan, but we are a little bit too high. So for hole number 8 here, we're going to play with Apocalypse. Even though we might have this one in level 3, level 2, level 4, we're gonna play with Apocalypse here because we do need the curl big time. This is a super tough hole. I think I found a way that can make sure here that we do play it just a very consistent. It looks like we're not in max distance, but that is because the replay fools us. It is in complete max distance with a power 3 ball, red ring by the rough line, 6 top and as much left as possible. And then we're going to go with max distance plus 10 and 1 ball of curl outside the adjustment ring to the left. And the thing that happens here now is that we are getting our ball to be pushed into the left, even though the fairway slopes right, and we get down there into the final pocket in between bunker number 4 and number 3, which is awesome, which makes us have a sniper shot here towards the pin. And the beautiful part with this now is that this actually becomes an opportunity, weirdly enough. Like, the further up we reach, the easier it's going to be to get to the green, and then obviously we're going to give ourselves a chance for the pin. If we would be reaching further, we would be able to go with a little bit less topspin, but now I'm just on the safe side here. This hole for me is just a birdie hole. I'm not really expecting anything else. So I'm just playing for a safe birdie, as the wind doesn't give us anything for free. Make the drive on fairway so you can reach, otherwise you are not going to be able to reach for the green in 2. That I can assure you. So this was hole 8. So for hole number 9, it's gonna be another tough one for us. 4 topspin is what I want you to play with, and I want you to play from the plus 10 yard mark. And this means with an extra mile level 8. If you play with an extra mile level 7 or below, you play it in complete max distance. If you do go with an Apocalypse level level 5 plus, you back up a little bit more. Most importantly, look at the second bounce. Half of the red ring inside the rough there, max side spin to the right with its 4 bars top spin. We adjust and we push up to max distance if needed, and then we're gonna go with a slight curl to the right. This is too much though. This is a little bit too much. So just go with a tiny bit curl, as we do want to help push our ball out there to the right. Unfortunately, we do clip the rough, and that's going to be something that happens sometimes. That's just not something that we can control. 5% extra for the drive. But here comes the important part for this guide for hole 9. You decide if you play with a sniper or you play with the Cataclysm or the big dog. Obviously, logically, that's the decision. You are the only one that takes it. But you can see that I have to go into overpower here. The sniper is definitely the best club to play with. But if we do feel uncomfortable with the drive, that we might clip the rough sometimes, it would be better in a way of looking at getting the albatross to go and play with the Cataclysm or the big dog, so we can stay away from overpower even if we clip the rough with the drive. So if you feel comfortable getting over the rough without clipping the rough, then play with the sniper. Otherwise, choose the big dog, choose the Cataclysm, so at least you have an approach towards the pin without having to overpower. Minus 10%, which means it's an uphill approach. So the ball is going to be less affected by the wind. Oh my god, ladies and gentlemen, this is going to be a tough one. I've said that in the other playthroughs as well, and I say it again. I do believe this is the toughest tournament we have had 2019. That's why this playthrough is so valuable for you. Take a look, make sure that you get the basics so you can get through the course without making any mistakes. Because this tournament, it's not so much about getting a bunch of holeouts, it's about doing as little mistakes as possible. Because there is tough drives on many of the holes that we're playing. The par 3s, there is no gimme when it comes to getting the hole in one. Par 4s, no, not really there either. Hole 4 with a very good opportunity though. But other than that, there isn't really anything to take here in this on this course. So making as little mistakes as possible is going to separate you from the others. So it's a different mindset for this tournament, where we on the other tournaments has been chasing drops, chasing drops, chasing drops. Obviously we need drops to win as well, but we don't need that many. No mistakes, 2-3 extra drops over 9 holes, then you're gonna be fine, and that is something you will be managing to do with my help. So in the end, thank you so much for watching. Make sure that you do hit thumbs up and support the channel. The video is sponsored by Golf Clash and Playdemic. Good luck.